The legend of the old jail in St. Augustine, Florida, is a chilling tale that has been passed down through generations. Built in 1891, the old jail was notorious for its brutal conditions and the harsh treatment of its inmates. It was said that many prisoners met their end within its cold, unforgiving walls, and their restless spirits still linger to this day. One foggy evening, a local historian named Sarah decided to investigate the old jail. She had heard the stories, but was skeptical of the supernatural. Armed with a flashlight and her trusty notebook, she entered the jail just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the courtyard. As Sarah stepped inside, the heavy iron door creaked shut behind her, echoing through the empty halls. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and decay, and the temperature seemed to drop several degrees. She began her exploration, her footsteps echoing eerily in the silence. In the dim light, Sarah could make out the rows of tiny, claustrophobic cells. She paused at one cell in particular, where it was said a notorious inmate named Thomas Lynch had died under mysterious circumstances. As she peered inside, she felt a sudden chill run down her spine, as if someone or something was watching her. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah continued deeper into the jail. She reached the old infirmary, where the sick and dying prisoners were once treated. The room was filled with rusted medical equipment and dusty, decaying beds. Suddenly, she heard a faint whisper, almost like a soft plea for help. She spun around, but there was no one there. Her heart pounding, Sarah pressed on. She reached the gallows, where many prisoners had met their end. The wooden structure loomed ominously in the darkness. As she stood there, she felt an overwhelming sense of sorrow and despair. It was as if the very walls of the jail were mourning the lives lost within them. Just then, Sarah's flashlight flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled to turn it back on. In the pitch black, she heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. They were slow and deliberate, echoing through the empty halls. When the flashlight finally came back on, Sarah saw a figure standing at the end of the corridor. It was a man dressed in old-fashioned prison garb, his face pale and gaunt. His eyes were hollow, filled with an unspoken torment. Sarah froze, unable to move or speak. The figure began to approach her, and as he did, Sarah could hear the faint whispers growing louder. "Help us, free us," they seemed to say. Just as the figure reached out a hand towards her, the flashlight flickered again, and he vanished. Terrified, Sarah fled the old jail, the whispers still echoing in her ears. She never returned, but she shared her story with anyone who would listen. The legend of the old jail grew, and to this day, those who visit after dark claim to hear the same whispers and see the same ghostly figure roaming the halls. The old jail in St. Augustine remains a place of mystery and fear, a reminder of the souls who suffered within its walls and the restless spirits that still seek peace. Be sure to follow for more content. Thanks for watching.